Welcome to this module of Spring Core series. In this module, we'll talk about Spring AOP or Spring Aspect Oriented Programming. AOP stands for Aspect Oriented Programming. AOP is another programming model like Object Oriented Programming, and it generally complements Object Oriented Programming. The basic unit of modulation in OOP is a class, whereas basic unit of modulation in AOP is an aspect. OOP models a business entity or specific business logic, whereas AOP models an aspect of an application. So here aspect refers to logging, transaction, or caching. These aspects are known as constants, which are cut across multiple types and objects, and these are known as cross-cutting constants. As you have seen in the previous slide, the basic unit of modulation in a OOP is a class, whereas the basic unit in AOP is an aspect. Spring IOC container is independent of AOP. So Spring IOC container is not directly tied to AOP. If we choose to use Spring IOC container, it is not required to use AOP. We can still continue with Spring IOC container. AOP is used in the Spring framework to provide declarative enterprise services, especially as a replacement for EJB declarative services. The most important such service is declarative transaction management. It also allows users to implement custom aspects, complement. In this video lecture, we'll talk about core AOP concepts. In AOP, the first and fundamental concept is the concept of aspect, followed to that join point, and then the concept of advice. We have then the concept of point cut. So point cuts are very crucial in AOP. And then we have an introduction and target object. Followed to that we have AOP proxy, and then lastly we have waving. We're going to talk about all of them in this lecture. We'll talk about aspect. What is an aspect? An aspect is modulation of a constant that cuts across multiple classes or types. For example, transaction management. This generally cut across entire application and is a constant that can be managed through an aspect. Another example would be logging. Logging also cut across entire application and can be managed through aspect. In Spring AOP, aspects are managed through regular classes with @aspect annotation. In Spring, we can also manage aspects through regular classes as. In this video, we are going to talk about join point. What is a join point? A join point is a point during the execution of a program, such as the execution of a method or the handling of an exception. In Spring AOP, join points. In this lecture, we'll talk about advice. An advice is the action taken at a specific join point. Advices are plain Java methods with one of the advice annotations. Spring provides different types of advice: before, after returning, after throwing, and around. Spring Framework models an advice as an interceptor and maintains. In this lecture, we'll talk about point cut. A point cut is a predicate that matches a join point. It determines the join point of interest. A predicate is a simple expression which returns either true or false. Point cut is represented in terms of expression known as point cut expression. Advices are associated with point cut expression and runs in any join point matched by that point cut. The concept of join points as matched by point cut expression is central to AOP, and Spring uses. So far we have talked about the concept of aspect, join point, advice, and point cut. In this lecture we are going to talk about introduction. What is an introduction? An introduction is declaring additional methods and fields on behalf of a type. Spring AOP allows to introduce new interfaces and associated implementations. In this lecture, we are going to talk about target object. What is a target object? A target object is the one which is being advised by one or more aspects. This object is also known as advised object. Spring AOP is implemented through runtime proxies. Hence, this target object is always a proxy object. In this lecture, we will talk about AOP proxy. What is an AOP proxy? An AOP proxy is an object created by AOP framework to implement the aspect contracts, that is advice, method, execution, and so on. In Spring AOP, a proxy is either a JDK dynamic proxy. The last core concept in Spring AOP concepts is waiving. We're going to talk about waiving in this lecture. So what is waiving? Waiving is the process of linking aspects with application types or objects to create an advised object. So this is the linking process. And waiving can be done at compile time, load time, or at runtime. However, Spring AOP we have seen an advice is the action which we take at any joint point. We have seen there are 5 types of advices. So when we are actually applying the advice, based on that advice are categorized into 5 different categories. So these names are self-explanatory. The first one is before, and then we have after, and then after returning, after throwing, and around. We are going to talk about all of. In this lecture, we are going to talk about before advice. A before advice is used to create a before advice, and it takes a point cut expression as an attribute. This advice executes before a joint point. Before advice does not have the ability to prevent execution flow proceeding to the joint point. The next advice is after returning advice. After returning advice is executed after a joint point completed normally. For example, so far we have seen the before advice and after returning advice. The next type of advice is after throwing. After throwing advice is executed if a method terminates. In this lecture, we are going to talk about after advice. After advice is executed once a joint point exits. This advice is executed regardless the joint point exits with normal or exception. This advice has sort of finally behavior. We can actually do connection closing and all sort of stuff. The last type of advice we will talk about is around advice. Around advice is the most general one, but it is the most powerful type of advice. This advice surrounds a joint point such as method invocation. Around advice can perform custom behavior before and after the method invocation. Around advice is also responsible for choosing whether to proceed to the joint point or to shortcut the advice method execution by returning its own return value or throwing an exception. So this around advice is quite powerful. We are going to have a look how in most AOP frameworks, including Spring AOP, the AOP is implemented through proxy. So let's understand what is proxy and what is a proxy object. Proxy objects are created when you want to add or modify already existing class. Generally, proxy object has the same set of methods as of the original class, and Java proxy extends the original class. Proxy has a handle to the original object. In this lecture, we are going to talk about Spring AOP proxy and going to see how Spring implements proxy. Spring AOP uses standard Java 2 standard edition dynamic proxy or CGLib proxy. It defaults to J2SE for dynamic proxies, which enables it to proxy any interface. Spring AOP uses CGLib proxy if the class doesn't implement an interface. We also can enforce Spring AOP to use CGLib proxy by setting proxy. In this lecture, we are going to talk about aspect J. Aspect J refers to a style of declaring aspects as regular Java classes annotated with Java 5 annotations. The Aspect J style was introduced by the Aspect J project as part of Aspect J 5 release. Spring 2.0 interprets the same annotations as Aspect J 5 using a library supplied by Aspect J for point cut, parsing, and matching. The AOP runtime is pure Spring AOP and there is no dependency. In this lecture, we are going to talk about enabling Aspect J support in Spring. To use AspectJ aspects in a Spring configuration, it is required to enable Spring support for configuring Spring AOP based on AspectJ aspects and auto-proxying beans based on whether or not they are advised by those aspects. By auto-proxying, it is meant that if Spring determines that a bean is advised by one or more aspects, it will automatically generate a proxy for that bean to intercept method invocations and ensure that. In this lecture, we are going to talk about the configurations that required in order to implement AspectJ in Spring. If we are using XML based configuration, then we have to enable AspectJ auto proxy from AOP namespace. If we are using annotation based configuration, then we have to put. In this video, we are going to prepare our development environment for Spring AOP. So in order to use Spring AOP, we need to add the following dependencies in our pom.xml file so that Spring can download the relevant jar files and we can do the coding. So let's head over to IntelliJ and add this dependency. So I'm adding org.spring framework as our group ID and artifact ID as Spring aspects, and version will be our same old version. Okay, if we check the libraries, once Maven finishes the dependency download, we can see following jars are added: Spring Framework, Spring Aspects, and AspectJ waiver. So we are ready to write our aspect and all other advices. So in next lecture, in this lecture, we are going to create our first aspect. So what are we going to do with, as part of aspect creation? We'll have a basic interface called basic calculator. In that we have four methods, basic methods: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. We will then provide an implementation of our basic calculator as an arithmetic calculator, and we'll provide implementation of all these methods. And then we'll be writing our configuration class. So this configuration class will be through which we'll be enabling our AspectJ support. And then lastly, we'll be creating our aspect class. So this is what we're going to write as our first aspect. So let's head over to IntelliJ IDEA and try to implement this. In our earlier lecture, we have already set up that Spring aspect, and this is download. Maven has downloaded AspectJ libraries. Now I'll create a new package. Under this, I will create a new package called AOP.basic. Okay. So first thing I'll close all of these. Now let's create the interface. So I've created our first interface, basic calculator. It has these methods: double, addition, so we have our addition method. Then we'll have our subtraction method, subtraction, and then multiplication, and then division. Let's quickly add the Java doc. Adds to number, subtracts two numbers, multiply two numbers, and lastly we have the division. Okay. So we have provided our basic calculator interface. Now let's implement this interface as an arithmetic calculator. Okay. So our arithmetic calculator implements basic calculator, and we are going to provide the implementation of all four methods. Okay. Now as part of implementation, first thing what we're going to do is double result equal to number 1 plus number 2, and we are going to print this, and then we are going to return result. So let's implement the subtraction method. And similarly the multiplication method. And lastly the division method. However, in case of division we want to handle the exception. So if number 2 equal to 0, we will be returning and we will be throwing a new exception, throw new illegal argument exception, and in that we are going to write divisor can't be 0. Okay. So we are done with the implementation of our arithmetic calculator class. Next thing we are going to do is we are going to write our configuration class. So let's write our configuration class, calculator configuration. So it's a Spring configuration class. So first thing is configuration, then we have to do a component scan so that Spring can detect all the components in this package. Okay. And next thing which is important is we are going to enable aspect auto proxy. So we have already talked about this annotation in our earlier video. So this annotation enables us to let Spring do the auto proxy for the bins. So this is our configuration class, and one more thing is we have to detect this as a component so that Spring can find out this arithmetic calculator and create the bin. And the last thing we are going to do is we are going to create our first aspect. So what we will be doing is, as we have discussed earlier, aspect is normally taking care of concerns which cut across multiple types or objects or classes, right? So logging is one such concern. So talked about logging is one such concern, and transaction is one such concern which will be spread across your application, as well as caching will be another one. In this case, for this demonstration purpose, the easiest one is the logging. So we are going to take logging as an example. We will be using Java logging, java.util.log logging, and what we'll do is we'll write our calculator logging aspect here now. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to put add aspect annotation in that. So this makes this class as an aspect, right? And another thing is we have to do here, we have to add component so that Spring can detect this class and create the bin, right? Only marking as aspect will not let Spring load this class as a bin in Spring IOC container. So this is our first aspect. So it's pretty simple. We just put that at aspect annotation and it makes as AOP aspect. In the next lecture, we're going to talk about how we can put different type of advices in this aspect class. In our previous lecture, we have created the aspect. In this video, we are going to talk about before advice. So let's head over to IntelliJ IDEA and try to write our first advice, that is before advice. So we have already created our aspect class, right? Now let's write the first advice. As we discussed in earlier lecture, we're going to talk yeah, use logging as our aspect here. So I'll be creating first log. So we are using JDK java.logging.logger. So we have created our logger class, right? Now let's write our first advice. So these are like advices we can write through normal methods. So first write the method. So we are doing log before. So this is a plain method, but now we're going to put the first advice before, and now before advice takes a point cut expression. So we're going to write that now. We are going to talk about this expression in detail in next lecture. But what we are doing is we are using one of the point cut designator, which is execution here, and then we are actually passing which class and which method and what are the arguments we want to use here. So we are giving two dots. That means that our number of arguments doesn't matter. But here what we basically want to do is when arithmetic calculator's multiplication method is getting invoked, we want to inspect that multiplication method before it executes. We want to do something. So that's why we are using before advice here. And what we're going to do is we are going to just print the one simple line here before multiplication method. Okay. See here we are just printing this line, but we definitely understand that we are not doing all these things just to print a statement. We can do many things here actually. Normally we have access to the join point and that information. So basically we can have information about what the method signature is, what type of method is, what is the proxy object. So we are going to talk about all those things in subsequent videos. But at the moment, what we're going to do is we are executing this multiplication method, and when this method is getting executed, just before that we want to do something, and in this case we are just printing this line. So we are done with our aspect and the advice. So we have created our before advice. Now we will go and create our main class. So application context equal to new annotation config application context, and then we are going to pass our calculator configuration dot class. So what you're doing is we are getting that arithmetic calculator bean and then calling multiplication method in that. So if we execute it now, we should be expecting our advice to get executed as well as the output. So as we can see, Spring is printing this advice. So we have written this before multiplication method in our aspect class and before advice, as well as Spring is printing the multiplication output, which is here. So we are doing multiplication. we are getting the result and it is getting printed. Now there are a couple of things to notice here. I didn't pass the arithmetic calculator, I did pass basic calculator. Let's see if we pass arithmetic calculator and what happens. We are getting exception bean not of required type exception. Bean name arithmetic calculator is expected of type as arithmetic calculator, but was actually of type com.sun.proxy dollar proxy. Now here comes a couple of interesting things. First of all, we discussed that Spring AOP is proxy based. So what happens is, and we also talked about that whenever our class implement an interface, Spring uses that J2SC dynamic proxy, and it creates a proxy class as a wrapper on top of our actual class, and it uses that class. So here what is happening is, though we are passing arithmetic calculator, Spring has created a proxy class, and this proxy class actually extends to the interface type, not to this actual type. That's the reason when we earlier used basic calculator, that time even though we directly called multiplication, it didn't throw any exception because our proxy class or the proxy object was a type of basic calculator, and it went on fine, there is no exception. But in this case, it has no it's not of type arithmetic calculator, and it is throwing the exception. So this is important part to understand, that Spring creates proxy object when it implements that aspect, or in that matter that it in the previous video we have seen how to use before advice. In this video we are going to talk about after advice. So as we have seen, after advice is used once the join point is over. So let's head over to IntelliJ IDEA and write one after advice. So I'm currently in IntelliJ IDEA. So in the previous video we have seen which we have seen that before advice, and so I have changed this get bin to basic calculator from arithmetic calculator. And now let's head over to our calculator logging aspect. So here we'll be creating one more as advice, but this will be after advice. So let's create the method first. So I have created a simple method called log after, and we are writing after addition method. In the before advice we have used multiplication method. In this case we are going to look addition method. So the same point card expression we are going to use. So we are done with our point card expression. So similarly, we are using execution point card designator, and we are saying arithmetic calculator and addition method. We don't care about the number of arguments. So let's head over to main class, and here we'll be adding our addition. We'll be calling our addition method. So I've changed. I am getting that basic calculator bean and then calling the addition method on that. So let's run and see the output. Okay, as you can see, it is printing the output first, and then the after method. So once the method execution is over, then this line is getting printed after addition method. So we can see our logger is printing that calculator logging aspect log after method, and then it is printing after addition method, which is our advice. So far we have seen after and before advice. In this video we are going to talk about after returning advice. So let's head over to IntelliJ IDEA and create after returning advice. So here I am in IntelliJ IDEA. So let's write a method first. So I have created a simple advice here. First we have created a plain method and then I have annotated with it as after returning advice. Now after returning advice is bit special, bit different. Let's head over to the annotation definition first. Okay, so as you can see, this annotation takes couple of parameters. One is value, so that's the default one which you were using earlier. So everywhere if we don't mention anything, by default it takes only the value. But it also takes a point cut attribute, and it has a returning attribute as well as arg names. So arg names we're not going to look into, but returning is something important here. So we're going to use point cut and returning here. So first thing, let's try the point cut expression. And since we are going to also use the returning attribute, we have to mention those attributes here instead of directly specifying here like this as a value, what you have done for before and after advices. So I have created the point cut expression now, execution and arithmetic calculator dot addition. So this is one of the attribute. Other one will be the returning one. So returning, so log after returning this method, as you're using after returning, we have the option to capture the return result of this particular method, addition method. So we can capture that in a variable here. So we have captured the returning result in result variable, and that we have access to as a method argument, and we can use it in our method. So let's just print it out. Okay, so I have just we're just printing logging two statements. One is after returning addition method, another is addition result. Okay, so for simplicity, what I'll do is I'll just comment out this before and after advices so that our console will be clean. And since we're using addition method and we are already calling addition method in our main class, so let's just run and see the outcome. Okay, we got some exception. Okay, it's saying our point cut expression is not valid. It's not well formed. Expecting closing parenthesis. So let's go back and see what we have written wrong. So what we have done is we have created okay, this one seems to be extra. We don't need this, right? So let's try again. Okay, so you can see we are printing couple of things. First thing is the addition result. We are passing 1 and 8, so the addition result is 9. And then we are getting after returning addition method, which is this line, and then we are getting addition result is 9.0. So we can actually grab the result from the return value of the addition method and access to it, and we are just printing it here. In your actual application, you might want to get the result, inspect, and maybe you can do. In this video, we are going to talk about after throwing advice. So let's head over to IntelliJ IDEA and create after one advice with after throwing. So we'll go to calculator logging aspect again, and let's just copy this. We'll change this method as log after throwing. Okay, and then we are going to change the annotation. Okay, similar to after returning, after throwing also has some additional parameters. So we have one throwing attribute here. So you can catch that exception type with this attribute, and we also have point card value and arg names. So let's head back to our advice. So here we're going to use division method. Okay. Now there is no returning attribute in after throwing. Instead we have throwing. And let's rename it to exception, and let's catch that exception here. So we'll catch throwable so that we know we are catching everything. So we have done couple of changes here now. So first change is we are calling after throwing advice here point cut and changing that to throwing 2, and we are catching as one attribute called x, and then that we are passing it as our argument, and then we are printing the message. So this is all about after throwing. So we are using division method because in division method, if you recall, we have one um, attribute here where we have this exception handling. So if we pass number to 0, our method will throw an exceptions, and we have the ability to use after throwing advice. So let's head back to main method. Main method here, what we're going to do is we are calling our division method, and we are passing as the divisor as 0. So we will be definitely expecting one exception, that the exception which we are throwing from our arithmetic calculator class. Divisor can't be 0, but we have the option to analyze here what exception and all those stuff, because you have access to the entire exception object. So you can inspect it, we can get different messages or the cause and all those things from the caller from the method where we are actually calling from here. So let's run main method. Okay, so we got our stack trace. Okay, so it's showing log after throwing method first of all, and it's printing after throwing division method, which is here. After throwing division method is from our method, and then it also showing exception message divisor can't be 0, divisor can't be 0. So this is also again from here. So basically this message is from our exception from our actual class arithmetic calculator. From here this message is this exception is thrown back to our caller code, and then we are, since this exception is not handled, eventually it is falling back to our main call, and then here it is just getting printed. But what we can see is we have the ability to handle get the exception, and we can do whatever we want to do with it. Now couple of more things. First thing is, let's say we are interested in one particular type of exception. So for example, in this case, we are catching throwable. So basically, we are catching every single thing, whatever possibly can come out. Now, let's say in this case, I am only interested about illegal argument exception. So if I am catching illegal argument exception, which is the case here, we are throwing illegal argument exception. So in this case, the same error will be, same message will be print out because we are catching the same exception. So it's showing a divisor can't be zero. But let's say we are interested about IO exception, but our actual exception is different. So even in this case, even though we are catching exception, but this exception type won't match and it will not be passed to us. So if we execute this here, we won't see this message exception message equal to this divisor can't be zero. See here, this exception, so our this basically our entire this method got skipped because that exception we got, but it doesn't match with the type of exception you're looking for, and so this advice is completely skipped, and it went back to the default handler, and it's simply printing everything in the console. Another thing is which I wanted to, so here we are passing two dots, so that basically means we are not interested about the number of arguments and their types. So let's say we can be more specific. We can actually pass these two types. So we know that our division method takes two double arguments, number one and number two. And if we change it back to let's say again throwable and execute now, it will still match because we are specifying the exact method signature, exact method parameters here. So as you can see, we are it's calling after throwing division method, which is this, and then it is printing the exception message as well. Before proceeding to around advice, we are going to look into join point information. So we have already seen a join point is any point in method execution which is matched by a point cut expression. So let's head over to IntelliJ and see what all information we have at our disposal in terms of join point. Okay. So before proceeding, I'm going to do a couple of changes. First thing is I want to get rid of all these additional methods. So we have removed additional method invocations here and keeping only multiplication so that our console looks clean. And now we're going to do a couple of more changes. First thing, we're going to add one more method. So I have added this information method join point info, and we are passing join point to it. So by default, whenever you're using advice, any advice, whether before, after returning, after throwing, we have this join point information with us. However, we have not used join point information in our earlier examples, but in this example, we're going to dedicatedly look into join point on what all information we have at our in terms of join point. So I'm going to use one advice that before advice anyway, and I'll comment out this after throwing, and let's add the before advice. So I've added our point cut expression, execution, and then arithmetic calculator dot, then multiplication and the arguments. And we have this join point available to us. So let's print those information here. So logger dot info. First thing I'm going to print about our method name. Next, we're going to print what type of join point it is. Next, we're going to print the join point on this method signature name. Next, we're going to print about the declaring type name. Next, we are going to access the arguments, the method arguments. Then we are going to print about the target object. And lastly, we are going to print this object, the current object, the proxy object. So we are accessing following information. Let's run this and see what all information is coming out. So we are anyway calling the multiplication method here. So if I execute it, I should be seeing the output for all of those. Okay, as you can see, we have all these information in the console. Okay, so let's head over to our logging aspect and see what all information we are printing and what all we have got as part of the result. So get kind. So kind is method execution. So we know that Spring AOP supports method level devices. So that AOP in method level. So it is method execution. Then we have the signature. So method signature is this method signature name basically. It should be method name actually. So it's multiplication. Then we have the declaring type. So declaring type is the interface type, so which is basic calculator in our case. Then we have the method arguments. So in our case, okay, I'm trying to print this, so I have to do arrays dot to string is an array. So once we print it again, I think this method argument should be coming proper now. So you can see what all arguments we have passed. So 2.0 and 5.0, which is what we have. These are our arguments 2 and 5. Next we have the target. So our target is the arithmetic calculator class, right? So the arithmetic calculator, the target here, and this object is as well our arithmetic calculator. Okay, so we got all this information. Basically, in any of these methods, the more important thing will be the arguments one. If we want to inspect the arguments, what all being passed to the method, we can grab those from join point, and we can use. In this lecture, we're going to talk about around advice. So let's head over to IntelliJ and write this advice. So we'll create a method first. So method will be public void around. Okay, and we'll be adding around advice. So let's add the point cut expression. Okay, so we have written our point cut expression. Now this around advice, it takes one type of join point called proceeding join point. Okay, so proceeding join point is a subtype of join point. So if we go to proceeding join point here, we can see it's another interface which extends join point and it provides some additional methods. Okay, out of which the most important one is the proceed one. So we'll come and see that. Let's write this first. First thing we'll be writing logger dot info. So around advice. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to, as you have seen, we have access to this method signature. We'll print that. Okay, not method signatures. We're going to talk about the method arguments. So let's see what all we are passing. Okay, so we're printing those arguments. Now there is one point which is important here. The in proceeding joint point, particularly this in around advice, we have the option of proceed or return from here. So let's say we just want to return as a default argument, default method result. So for example, here we have to change to object because you will be returning some result. Okay, and let's say I'm just returning 0.0. Okay, so if I execute it now, let's see what happens if we execute this now. Comment out this, and here in main method we should have multiplication, and let's execute this. Okay, so you can see it's saying around advice and method argument. That's it. It didn't call our actual method, multiplication method. So here is the important part. Whenever you're using around advice, we have to make sure we are calling this proceeding joint point dot proceed. So with this, we are ensuring that it's actually calling to the multiplication method. So here basically once this advice, so this is around advice, as you have seen, it has the before and after both. So before invoking the method, we have whatever, before calling the proceed, whatever things we are printing will be get printed as part of our before action, and then we have to explicitly call proceed, otherwise this method invocation will not proceed to our actual method call, and this method this proceed throws an exception called throwable, so we have to handle that. Okay, and if there is an exception, let's just throw it back, and as part of that we have to put throws here. Okay, so now if we see, let's see what is the output now. Okay, here now output will be 0 0 because we are defaulting to. Okay, output is not 0 0, output is 10.0. So again now there is a this 10.0 is coming from here from our multiplication method, because here we are doing a print result. Why we are not our this result is, we are not actually need to catch and throw it here, or we send it back. If you see proceed, it returns object type, so you have to throw that result back if you want to access that result. So for example, in this case what happens is, in this case arithmetic calculator, we are printing the result here, that's the reason you're seeing here, but whatever is the result, returning result is not being passed to the actual method, because we are not sending it back to the caller method. So whatever, that's the reason, even though the 0 0 is sent out, if I mm, so this is where we need to actually catch it and throw it. Okay, and then result will be this. Okay, so in that case this will be a dead code, so to remove this. Okay, So you can what we can do is why I'm catching this result in case you want to send some default response and all from a throwable, we can do that as well. So this around advice is as we discussed earlier is the most powerful type of advice. It has the ability to even have the ability to decide whether you want to call the subsequent the actual method invocation or not based on the args, or even you have the ability to change the argument. So for example, here we have proceeding joint proceeding joint point dot get args. The proceed method also takes argument, so we have the option to send see if there is another method proceed with arguments, we have the option to change that arguments here. Let's say in this case I don't care whatever the caller has sent, I want to pass something else just for the demonstration purpose only. So what we can do is let's say I want to pass 5.8 and 9.2. So if we execute now, so you can see the output has changed. Actual arguments were 2.1 and 5.0, but in our advice we have inspected those arguments and decided to change something. So this is just an example, but in our actual real application we can this can be quite useful also based on the input type and all those things. We can based on certain condition we can change the parameters of one or more arguments and pass it to the actual method. So that's the reason they say it is said like around is the most powerful advice type. And one more thing is one common mistake with around advice is once we are using around, we have to make sure that we are calling the proceed. Otherwise, if you don't call the proceed on the join point, the actual method invocation will not be invoked. It will not happen, and then the subsequent call will just return from here. So this is pretty much important. And another advice and another important thing is in terms of advice, always we should try to use the least powerful advice type. So for example, if our if our advice type can be sufficient with before, we should try to stick to before, or if it is after, we should try to stick to after. We should only use around. We are now end of this module. In this module, we talked about aspect-oriented programming, and then we discussed what is an aspect and what are the advice. We talked about before, after returning, after throwing, and around advice types. We have also seen the examples of all of these type of advices, and then we talked about join point and point cut. We have seen how join point provides some critical information about the method signature.